Thank you.
So,
As I was saying, we have 5 candidates for the St. Charles Park Board that for 3 open positions. I've asked the candidates to stand and to hold their name cards so you can associate name, face, and voice when they sit down to answer their questions. We'll do 1-minute opening statements, 1 minute for the answering of questions, and 1 minute closing statements. So candidate Berube, your 1-minute opening statement.
Hi, thank you to the League of Women's Voters for putting this forum together. My name is Taylor Berube, and I'm a mom of almost 2 little ones, due in April. And I'm a behavior analyst, and I own my own business, Family Behavior Learning. My husband and I moved here in the summer of 2020. We decided to move to St. Charles because of the school districts and the community involvement. Through my son, I have participated in a bunch of events around town and enjoyed all of them. A little bit of background about myself and why I want to run is I grew up in Bloomingdale, Illinois. My mom served on their park district board for 22 years. I grew up watching her make a big difference in their community, and I want to do the same here in St. Charles. I want to take my passion for park district programs that I participated in, as well as the ones that I'm participating in with my own children, and put it to good use on the Park District Board. Thank you for this time and opportunity.
Thank you. Candidate Cook, your 1-minute opening statement.
my name is... Yeah?
And I don't hear it.
My name is Jim Cook. I'm a lifelong resident of St. Charles. I've grown up here. I've gone to schools here. I've done the whole thing. I still work here. I'm an attorney in town. And I've been on the park board for a few years. And I'm running again because, quite honestly, I have a commitment to the district that I, as the word's been used quite a bit today, I'm passionate about. We have an excellent park district. I want to continue to contribute as I can. For the record, I have a family with 3 college-age kids and a wife, and we've used the district everywhere from preschool through almost every program you can imagine. And I feel that the district has served us well, and I want to continue to serve everyone else well, too. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate McCarthy, your 1-minute opening statement.
Hi, thank you, League of Women Voters, for inviting us to talk. My name is Peggy McCarthy, and it will be Peggy for Parks when you see it on the signs out there. I'm running for re-election, and I ask for your vote. My first term was amazing to see and learn how much this great park district does and how it works. I lived in St. Charles 28 years with my husband Adam and 3 kids, and I want to share with you a few things that I represent to being your park district board member. Number 1, I work for you. You are my customer. You are my boss. I want you to come tell us what you want. I want to create programs and parks that you want to come to. I am a watchdog for your tax dollars, always looking at different ways to use money without using your tax dollars. The OSWEG grant that we just got awarded is one of those. I will continue to add inclusive and enriching programs. I want the park district for all ages and all abilities. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Rogers, your 1-minute opening statement.
Hi, everyone. I really appreciate the chance to be here. It's an honor. My name's...
Can you hold it closer, please?
My name is Matt Rogers. I live in St. Charles with my wife and 2 kids. We live on the west side by Davis Elementary. A little bit about myself. I'm a prosecutor for the state's attorney's office. It's a big part of who I am. I just won an award for prosecuting the most felony jury trials in all of Kane County in 2022. So I'm proud of that. I think it's relevant because you got to have ideas, you got to be innovative, but you got to show up and do the work. That applies to all of this, not just the park district. And I will show up and do the work. Why I want to do this, I'm a father of 2 young kids. When I'm not working, we're doing park district stuff. We were at Mount St. Mary's Park this morning, Potawatomi during the summer, Otter Cove, Hickory Knolls. I think I'm in a good position to know the park district, know what works and what doesn't work, and get the right feedback from other people who are park district users. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Candidate Thompson, your 1-minute opening statement.
Good afternoon. I want to thank the League of Women Voters as well as everybody else did. I'm a 37-year resident in town. I've been on the board for several terms. I look forward to the opportunity to continue I find the position very rewarding and fulfilling. I've served in multiple board positions. I'm currently the vice president. It's an expectation of this board that we participate in other ways within the community. I am also the representative to the Fox Valley Special Rec Association and currently chairman of that board. I've been on that for 24 years. That's one where we obviously meet the needs of special needs recreational participants. Additionally, I represent the board on the Intergovernmental Committee, which involves all the local agencies, school district, etc. I've served on the Norris Rec Board as well as the Campton Fields Board. I'm a retired teacher of 37 years. I was a tech teacher. I have a bachelor's degree in technology and a master's in instructional technology. I've been a coach for 40 years. I've used every imaginable activity within the park district.
Thank you. Can you all be seated, please? The first question will begin with candidate Cook. You might want to consider still holding those microphones so that you make sure that they're close. Candidate Cook, what do you think the Park District is doing well in terms of making its programming and facilities accessible and inclusive for all residents, economically and physically? What can be improved on? I can read the question one more time. What do you think the Park District is doing well in terms of making its programming and facilities accessible and inclusive for all residents, socioeconomically and physically? What can be improved on?
Okay, so, can you hear me now? Okay. Actually, the Park District works very hard to make sure it's accessible to all the community. And we have programs for, if you look at our brochure that goes out every quarter, you'll see that we have everything from preschool all the way through what we call the Adult Activity Center in Potawatomi for those people that are over 50 years of age. I think we appeal to all the age groups. As far as accessibility, we work very hard to design our parks as best we can for accessible use for those who may be handicapped. We recently opened a sensory park down in Potawatomi Park, sensory playground, in Potawatomi Park, and I think we're attempting to improve on that as best we can as money provides. As far as not spending too much money, as Peggy mentioned here, we just got what they call an OSLAD grant for $600,000 that we are going to use for development of Primrose Farm Park. Oops, I guess that's it. Sorry.
Candidate McCarthy, the same question.
So the Park District cares very much about being the Park District for everyone, regardless of age and regardless of ability. We just did a huge study on all of our locations to say, what are we missing so that everyone can have access to our parks? So we are becoming, all of our programs eventually are going to become ADA compliant. We also are looking at ways for all ages. So there's certain segments of the population that maybe we have more facilities or more activities than the other. We are listening to what you want, and we are now creating more programs. I heard today for the K to 8-year-olds, or from that after college or right after high school, for students to be able, or people to be able to come and enjoy all aspects of the Park District and stay in St. Charles and enjoy everything that it has to offer.
Candidate Rogers.
So I just want to say, I've been going to the Park District meetings for about 2 months now. I haven't missed a meeting. And the staff in place at the Park District is phenomenal. The director, Holly Cable, Laura Rudow, Mike Keys, they're true professionals and they do a great job. So I think they do a great job, doing what you're talking about. As far as what could be, one thing that is very well for inclusivity, I would say Baker Station, there's a scholarship available. Baker Station is the aftercare school program, and there's a scholarship available, based on income. So I think that's a very positive thing and something that the Park District should be proud of. As something maybe they could improve on, people have talked to me, this isn't exactly my idea, but people have talked about, are there affordable spaces in the Park District for artists and musicians? And people like that to perform, the arts, that
Thank
kind of
you.
thing. So that's something I think we could do better.
Thank you. Candidate Thompson?
As Jim said, we do offer something for everybody. In fact, I happen to have the brochure with us. As you can see, this comes out quarterly, and it's packed full of something for everybody. We are also mindful of any changes that might arise. We do a survey every once in a while, and some things have popped up through that, and then we try to address those situations. As Peggy alluded to, we received a grant recently from OSLED for $600,000, which is going to make some improvements at Primrose. Additionally, we got a grant not too long ago where we're going to be putting an educational indoor building out at Primrose as well, because there's opportunities sometimes where a school wants an indoor space, and so that affords us to have that. But we are inclusive. I mentioned I'm on the Fox Valley Special Rec Board, and that's with 7 park districts all total: Geneva, Batavia, South Elgin, Fox Valley Park District. And that obviously addresses all the special needs within the district that arise.
And Candidate Berube?
Thank you. I think that the Park District does a great job of offering activities and facilities for all different ages. But things that we might want to look at to improve is lowering costs, offering some various free programming throughout the week and weekends. And also making everything accessible for all ages, not just ADA compliant. I don't know how many have had kids or grandkids taken to a park. My kid loves to eat some wood chips. So, trying to improve upon those things as well. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question will begin with Candidate McCarthy. And the question from the audience is, how will you ensure equal access based on the costs associated with programs for those who cannot afford those resources?
Well, I think it's a great question because the Park District is for everyone. What the Park District offers is a grant to every single family of $750 if you cannot afford classes or any programs for your family. To me, this is huge, and it's something that is not well known. But if you have a family that you know of that is not able to take a class because of their financial means, we will give them a grant, nothing to pay back, of $750. So I do feel if there's any other opportunities, we are willing to hear from you, but that's an area that I think needs to be stressed a little bit more. We are here for everybody.
Candidate Rogers?
Yeah, I would second what Ms. McCarthy just said, especially with the Baker Station Scholarship. I know that that's available not just for that. It can be used for any aspect of the Park District. So I think doing that and looking at other income-based programs are certainly a positive and certainly would be an asset to the community.
Candidate Thompson?
Going third, you have to accept some of the answers that came before you, but Peggy brought that up, and with the grants and scholarships. Additionally, we do have a foundation, and they're willing to put forth some money when necessary. I mentioned with the Fox Valley Special Rec Board, they additionally have a foundation because their camp programs, as an example, are very expensive, especially because of the transportation issues and because it covers such a wide area. And so their foundation raises quite a bit of money during the course of the year, and for the most part, that money goes just for their summer programs.
Candidate Berube?
I also think making sure that grant is well known to families is extremely important. I don't know if a lot of them do know about that. As well as I would love to see a donation process. If you had a child that you participated in a program and you loved participating in that and you want to fund a family to also participate in that program, that would be a wonderful program to put in place. We personally love some of the music programs that the Park District has to offer, and it would be a nice system if we could set that up, that we could donate a class to a family in need. Thank you.
Candidate Cook?
Well, I think. Okay.
I'm going to try this one of these other ones.
Hello.
Yeah.
What did I do?
Maybe you can borrow Candidate Berube's.
Do you want to just
try a different one?
Okay.
It should be on.
Is that all my time?
No. Thank you for your answer, candidate.
Really good question. Anyway, I think everyone has kind of touched upon the fact that we do have a scholarship mechanism in place at the Park District, and I think the $750 program or grant covers almost any program and any family if they qualify. But actually, if it isn't enough, we do have a mechanism in place for special consideration by our staff, our director, to waive and to allow people to participate if they cannot afford to do so. So for the most part, I can't say with, definitely, we don't really turn people away from our programs. We're here to allow people to enjoy them and to participate. And when I say, for the most part, it's our residents that need to apply for that. So, that's it.
Thank you. Candidate Rogers, the next question will begin with you. What strategies or programs will you promote to ensure the Park Board is a responsible and proactive environmental steward of the land?
I think the main thing is to take the opportunity you have and the platform you have in the Park District and all the Park District facilities and make sure all of those facilities are environmentally sound, are efficient, are used in a way that promote that kind of thing. And to make people aware of it, to make people aware of what is being used, how those resources are being used, so that people can get on board and see what you're doing and further promote that. So that's what I would try and do.
Thank you. Candidate Thompson?
We do have some things in place. Our Hickory Knolls is an example. Every part of that building was under consideration for making sure it met all those needs. From the green roof to the way it's heated to the way it's cooled, to some of those things. And as buildings become at a stage where we need to make some upgrades, all those things are part of that consideration. Same with some of the vehicles. We're looking at the potential of putting in charging stations here and there. We're also looking at some of the vehicles that we even purchase to make sure that we're getting the best bang for the buck and we're keeping track of the environment. I mean, we as a park district, I think we need to be the lead in that. In any case, we have many parks and properties, and so all of those things are important. Even most recently out at Campton, we have a bring it in, bring it out policy where we're not even leaving garbage cans out there anymore. So,
thank you. Candidate Berube?
I think just making sure all of our parks and buildings are sustainable and efficient. I am not an expert in this, so I would have to refer to someone that maybe could tell us more about what would be sustainable for each building. But I think also making those upgrades, not using older equipment, things along those lines that would be more efficient for each building and park.
Candidate Cook?
Again, I think everyone's covered it somewhat. You need to know that we have in our district, if you're looking at being environmentally responsible, we have a naturalist, full-time naturalist on staff. We have a staff of naturalists that work at the district. We also have among the group a committee composed of staff called the Green Team that is also going through all the uses and all the mechanisms of the Park District to make sure that the staff and the district is using the most environmentally sensitive methods to make sure things are done appropriately, and reporting to the board on reporting to the staff on a monthly basis, but to the board at least twice a year. So we just know that self-examination is a big part of how this district operates, and that whenever we have a new facility, it's always examined from the perspective of not only functionality, but also environmental responsibility.
Thank you. And Candidate McCarthy, your answer.
I have to ditto everything. I think the Park District is very proactive at making sure that we are looking at environmentally safe avenues at all costs. But then you do play a role in cost. How much is cost and how long is the return for the taxpayers? Our taxpayers is our number one goal. Long-term wise, though, we're always looking at our buildings. We're looking at our parks. So we're trying to buy more green space, as well as when I became a member on the board, I was surprised at how we keep track of every single tree in all of our parks. And we know the healthiness of the tree. So we work so hard at even how things are planted, where they're planted. We are very proactive at trying to have an environmentally safe atmosphere for all the residents.
We have one last question, and it's from the audience this afternoon. Would you consider collaborating with the city to develop a public amenity at the former police station site? And we'll start with candidate Thompson.
Well, it has come, we have been presented the plans at a couple of our meetings. In fact, I believe an alderman is one who brought up that maybe has the Park District been consulted on what's going to happen with that property. The city does want to sell the property. They do want to bring in tax dollars for the property. As a Park District, we would love to have that just as an open space area that we could develop and use the riverfront and such. So it does have its problems, but we do collaborate with the city on several projects. Our main goal, obviously, as a Park District is the access we have to Potawatomi from downtown, and we certainly want to make sure that stays open. So I would welcome that the city would collaborate a little bit more with us and be open to the ideas that our staff has and our board would like to present.
Candidate Berube?
I would definitely be open to collaborating, because I think that would be an awesome green space, as you mentioned, and having that access to Potawatomi is amazing. I definitely think we should look at the plans, make sure it's going to be a good use for all of our residents, and having that open and access to that river would be amazing. Thank you.
Candidate Cook?
Okay, I'd like just to clarify. We collaborate on a lot of levels with a lot of departments with the City of St. Charles, as we do with the County of Kane, as we do with the St. Charles School District. We're very proud of that fact. We will continue to do so because it saves everyone money when two governmental entities work together. With regard to the specific question, I think we need to address the fact that the city has certain responsibilities to their constituents as far as selling that land and making sure that they get a return on it, etc. And their design is, they're entitled to do what they need to do with that property. However, make no mistake about it, we are in a position where we are standing ready, willing, and able to contribute as far as design for open space or a plaza area or whatever is necessary there. And if we are asked to do so, we're ready. We're there.
Candidate McCarthy?
The Park District is absolutely open for more green space and more avenues for the public can go and enjoy everything that the river has to offer, all the different locations have to offer. So we're 100% want to look for more opportunities. The city really is not going to give it to us. And we're not going to be a great tax revenue for the taxpayers. And I think the city is looking for, not to speak on the city's behalf, but I think the city is looking for a tax revenue so that they can help the people here in St. Charles. We would love a part of it. We would love to collaborate with what the city is doing, just so that we can, one, allow more access to the bike path, to Potawatomi, to activities on the river, and hopefully together we can make some sort of space for the public to completely enjoy what it's offering.
And Candidate Rogers?
Whatever is done there, it needs to be done right, because that is beautiful, valuable property there. I was there just yesterday for the St. Charles Polar Plunge to support the Special Olympics, and it's amazing property. I think it needs to be done deliberately. There need to be studies done to make sure we get it right. I've talked to a lot of people who have talked about concerns over traffic and concerns over additional hotels. And whatever is done, it needs to be done right. I've heard the possibility of some kind of mixed use, possibly an amphitheater there. I think that would be fantastic. Something that benefits the city and enhances downtown St. Charles, because that's an amazing property and it needs to be done right.
Thank you. Candidates, thank you so much for answering our questions. It's time for closing statements. So I'll ask you each to stand individually for your closing statement, and you have 1 minute. Candidate Berube.
Thank you all for your time and this opportunity. I have enjoyed answering the questions and speaking to you all. I think things that we may need to improve upon is soliciting community response in some of the surveys and hearing all the voices of the community and taking everyone into consideration. And hopefully you vote for me on April 4th. Thank you.
Candidate Cook, your closing statement.
Thank you. Thanks again to the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum. Thanks to all of you showing up for this. I appreciate you listening to us today. I guess the message I want to get out is something that's already been said today and from various people. The St. Charles Park District is in good condition. It's got excellent staff. They work very hard to make sure that all these priorities that we've kind of discussed are fulfilled. And I, as a park board member, and I've been there for a few terms, will do my best to continue my commitment to the district to make sure that they follow what needs to be followed and that we keep things in place. Don't forget that we are very conscious of money concerns, and we do try to make sure your tax dollar goes as far as it possibly can. Again, thank you very much. And please vote for me, by the way, April 4th.
Candidate McCarthy, your 1-minute closing statement.
Okay, first, thank you, League of Women Voters, and thank you for being an educated public that is caring about who you vote for. So I very much appreciate it. I want to just mention a few things. One is, currently I'm the only woman on the board. I think I bring a different dynamic and a different perspective on certain questions to ask about students, about children, and about activities. I think that brings a lot of value to the board. I'm also extremely passionate that every time you come in contact with any of our park districts or people, that you leave feeling positive. You leave feeling like you want to come back. I am a huge advocate for excellent customer satisfaction. Our training is above none, always looking at how do we better and how do we do more for the public. I do think we have a great administration, and I do think we have a great board that works very well with the administration. So I ask for your vote, Peggy McCarthy or Peggy for Parks, on April 4th. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Rogers.
Thank you to everyone here. Thank you to the League of Women Voters. This is really encouraging to come and see this, and it's an honor to be a part of. I would just kind of echo what's already been said about communication. So I'm 37 years old. I'm a father of 2 young kids, 3 and 5. I'm a big user of the Park District. I go to all, maybe not all, but all the parks, all the facilities. I mean, we use them. We talk to other people who are using the facilities. That's a different kind of feedback that I'm getting, and different understanding and perspective that I'm getting than maybe what's on the board currently. I'm 37 with 2 kids. There's no one like that on the board right now. I think it's important that the board be representative of sort of the community as a whole, so that that's kind of what I'm pushing for. I appreciate your time, and I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. And Candidate Thompson, your 1-minute opening statement.
I too want to thank everybody for their participation in the League of Women Voters. We've made great progress in the time that I've been serving as commissioner. I just want to use my experience to continue that within the Park District and move it forward, and being mindful of the taxpayers' dollars. We currently have a well-functioning board, and more importantly, we have great employees and facilities and programs, and we offer something for everybody, and we are totally inclusive in what we offer. Our staff did a remarkable job through steering through the COVID pandemic and being innovative on creating different ways to get recreation and being involved. We have very many positive projects in response to our residents' needs and requests and survey results. And as a consumer of the Park District, I want to continue to avail myself to continue those offerings. I initially ran for the board years ago when I didn't even know there was a board, but I used so many of the facilities. I'm an avid biker and walker, and I was a coach and did all the running, and volunteered as a coach for, I think, 4 different...
Thank you so much. You're far too busy. Please join me in thanking the candidates for this practice.